Weddings are supposed to be a celebration of love, but let us be honest. For some brides, it is all about the loot. We have tracked down the most mind-blowing, completely unhinged complaints from brides who looked at a wedding gift and threw a massive tantrum because it simply was not expensive enough. These are real-life stories of entitlement so wild, you will want to send these women a bill for your time. Let us begin. 1. Giving relationship advice at a wedding is completely normal, but the delivery matters. A distant aunt wrapped up a paperback marriage counseling book she clearly bought at a local thrift store for $1. The absolute worst part was that the pages were aggressively highlighted in neon yellow, with personal notes written in the margins. The bride felt so mocked by the used self-help manual that she publicly accused her aunt of secretly wishing for their immediate divorce. 2. Imagine receiving a beautifully wrapped box, only to open it and find a literal rock. A geology professor thought it would be incredibly romantic to gift his former student a rare, raw amethyst crystal he found on a dig, claiming it symbolized a rock-solid foundation. The bride, expecting a check or a piece of high-end cookware, completely lost her mind. She actually took the rock to a pawn shop, found out it had no resale value, and mailed it back with a nasty note demanding he wire her the cost of the postage and a real gift. 3. Donating to a meaningful charity in the name of the newlyweds is a beautiful gesture, unless the bride is planning a luxury honeymoon. One guest proudly handed over a certificate showing $50 went to a local animal rescue. The bride literally chased him down in the parking lot during the reception. She yelled that stray dogs were not going to pay for her beach cabana in Cancun and demanded he hand over physical cash right then and there, claiming saving puppies was useless to her marriage. 4. Office co-workers usually pool their money to get something nice off the registry. A marketing team chipped in $200 to buy a solid, high-end blender for their boss. Instead of a thank you note, she sent a mass email to the entire department. She complained that they clearly did not value her leadership because the blender was not the $800 professional-grade Vitamix she had her heart set on. She ended the email by asking everyone to chip in another $50 by Friday morning. 5. Grandma spent 6 months knitting a massive, incredibly detailed custom quilt for the master bedroom. It was easily worth hundreds of dollars in labor alone. The bride took one look at it and told her new husband to put it in the dog bed. She actually had the nerve to call her grandmother and complained that the colors clashed with her minimalist beige aesthetic. She then casually suggested her grandma should reimburse her for the yarn cost so she could buy a proper silk duvet. What would you do if someone disrespected your grandma like that? 6. Floor models are usually heavily discounted because they are covered in mysterious scratches from retail shoppers. A frugal cousin bought a high-end carpet cleaner for 60% off just because it lacked the original cardboard box. The bride spotted a tiny scuff mark on the plastic handle and completely lost her grip on reality. She accused her cousin of treating her new home like a filthy pawnshop and demanded a brand new replacement, claiming the display model was probably cursed by the unwashed masses who touched it at the store. 7. Sometimes people buy wedding gifts months in advance during major sales. A guest brought a very expensive pasta maker attachment for a stand mixer, but made the fatal mistake of leaving a tiny yellow clearance sticker on the bottom of the box. The bride was furious that the guest only paid $30 instead of the full retail price of $150. She demanded the guest pay her the $120 difference in cash because she felt cheated out of the true value of the gift. 8. Weddings are expensive, so the maid of honor offered to cover the tip for the entire photography crew as her gift to the couple. It was a generous gesture that saved the bride over $300 on the actual wedding day. Fast forward to the gift opening party, and the bride is loudly complaining that she did not have a physical box to open from her best friend. She actually called the maid of honor cheap for refusing to buy the designer crystal vases off the registry on top of paying the heavy vendor tip. 9. Air fryers are the ultimate modern kitchen gadget, so a distant uncle brought a top-of-the-line model to the reception. The problem was that it was not explicitly listed on the sacred registry. The bride sent a furious group text to the entire groom side of the family. She threatened to literally throw the appliance into the dumpster unless the uncle provided a gift receipt within 24 hours. She boldly stated she needed the store credit to buy the luxury brand espresso machine she truly deserved to own. 10. The idea of a romantic weekend cabin getaway sounds absolutely perfect, right? Well, a group of co-workers rented a tiny budget-friendly cabin in the woods to save some serious money. The bride pulled up the rural address on Google Maps, saw a rusty tractor in the neighbor's yard, and immediately canceled the entire reservation. She sent a scathing email to her entire office, accusing them of trying to get her murdered in a cheap horror movie setting, and demanded they fund a 5-star downtown resort stay instead. 11. Custom gifts usually mean the world to newlyweds. A professional woodworker spent weeks crafting an intricate, personalized walnut cutting board with the couple's new last name. The bride actually sent it back to him via certified mail. Her attached letter stated that she specifically registered for a Williams-Sonoma marble board and that handmade wooden trash did not fit her luxury kitchen aesthetic. She then requested he send a check for his hourly labor rate instead. Would you ever speak to an artist like that? 12. Crowdfunding. A honeymoon is pretty common these days. 3 bridesmaids pooled their cash to put $400 into the digital vacation fund. Apparently, that was a huge mistake. The bride audited the website transaction logs, realized one bridesmaid only contributed $50 while the others gave more, and cornered her at the rehearsal dinner. She loudly accused the girl of ruining her dream trip to Hawaii and threatened to demote her to a regular guest. 13. Fixer-upper homes require a lot of tools and supplies, making a Home Depot gift card an incredibly useful present. An older uncle proudly gave the couple a card loaded with $200 to help with renovations. The bride threw a massive fit in her family group chat, claiming hardware stores are for sweaty laborers, not glowing newlyweds. She demanded to know why he did not buy a luxury spa voucher, asking if he actually expected her to wear a hard hat while celebrating her fresh marriage. 14. Brand loyalty can really turn people into absolute monsters. A young couple saved up to buy the bride a very nice, highly rated Shark vacuum cleaner. The problem was that she had explicitly registered for the $600 Dyson model. She was so personally offended by the cheaper alternative that she went onto the guest's professional LinkedIn profile. She actually left a public comment on their recent job update, warning their employer that they cut corners and deliver terrible results in real life. 15. Writing checks to a newly married couple can be tricky if you do not know their exact legal names yet. One aunt wrote a generous $300 check to the bride using her maiden name. When the bank teller caused a slight delay in cashing it, the bride absolutely lost her mind. She left a furious voicemail screaming that her aunt was subconsciously rejecting the marriage. She then threatened to take her own aunt to small claims court for the emotional distress of a slight bank transaction delay. 16. Towels are the most standard registry item in existence. A friend bought the exact brand requested, but grabbed the eggshell white color instead of pure optic white. The bride noticed the slight color difference under her bathroom lighting and completely melted down. She texted the friend a photo of the towels next to a piece of printer paper to prove they were ruined. Then, she demanded the friend drive over, pick up the towels, return them herself, and pay for the gas used during the trip. 17. Antique shopping takes real effort and a good eye for quality. A godmother found a breathtaking set of authentic vintage crystal wine glasses from the 1920s. Instead of appreciating the history, the bride called them haunted garbage. She complained that she refused to drink out of glasses that dead people might have touched. She demanded the godmother replace them with cheap, mass-produced glasses from a department store immediately. Do you think vintage gifts are a bad idea for weddings? 18. Entertainment is usually the most expensive part of the reception. A wealthy family friend decided to pay the entire $2,000 invoice for the wedding band as his gift. Fast forward 2 weeks, and the bride sends him a shockingly rude text message. She complained that paying a vendor did not leave her with a pretty box to open on video for her social media followers. She practically demanded he send an additional physical gift just so her unboxing aesthetic would not be completely ruined. 19. Nobody likes a regifter, but this reaction is straight up unhinged. A guest gifted a brand new slow cooker, but accidentally left a birthday card addressed to himself stuck inside the instruction manual. The bride discovered it and went into full detective mode. She researched the exact retail price of the appliance, found the guest at his office, and slammed the manual on his desk. She demanded he write her a check for the full retail value plus tax, claiming he owed her a real wedding present. 20. Buying off the registry should keep you safe from a bridezilla, right? Not exactly. A guest found the exact set of dinner plates the bride wanted, but bought them at a local department store on sale, instead of the luxury boutique linked on the website. The bride scanned the barcode with an app, realized where they came from, and called the guest crying. She sobbed that her entire dining room was now contaminated by middle-class energy. What the hell is middle-class energy even supposed to mean? 21. Art is subjective, but this reaction is completely insane. An incredibly talented bridesmaid spent months painting a gorgeous, hyper-realistic portrait of the couple from their engagement shoot. The bride took one look at the canvas and threw a literal temper tantrum in her living room. She claimed her nose looked slightly crooked and accused the artist of trying to sabotage her self-esteem on purpose. She then sent an invoice for a professional rhinoplasty consultation to make up for the emotional damage. 22. Frequent flyer miles are basically digital gold when you are planning a massive overseas trip. A generous uncle transferred 50,000 premium travel points to the newlyweds to help upgrade their honeymoon flights. Instead of a thank you note, he received a furious 5-paragraph email. The bride complained that points are for cheap backpackers and demanded he wire her the exact cash equivalent instead. Would you ever revoke a gift if someone sent you an email like that? 23. Everyone loves a good morning brew. A group of college friends chipped in to buy a gorgeous $300 espresso machine from the Registry. You would think that is a total win, right? Wrong. The bride called the group chat the next morning, completely furious that they did not include a lifetime supply of the specific imported coffee pods it required. She actually called the expensive machine a financial burden and demanded they set up a monthly subscription box for her. 24. Writing a check is the easiest way to keep a newlywed happy, but you better check your math first. One guest gave a very generous $150 to cover their plate. The bride actually mailed the check right back with a red pen correction. She stated that her financial spreadsheet was categorized in neat increments of 100. She demanded the guest either round up to 200 or send nothing at all, because odd numbers gave her terrible anxiety. 25. Sending a massive basket filled with artisanal cheeses, imported chocolates, and expensive wine is a classy move. A wealthy boss sent a gourmet hamper worth easily $400. The bride drove straight to his office building to complain in person. She screamed that she was on a strict post-wedding detox diet and accused him of trying to make her gain weight. She literally demanded he replace the food with a designer handbag of equal value immediately. 26. First-time homeowners usually beg for practical yard equipment. 5 groomsmen pooled their cash to buy a top-tier riding lawnmower for the couple's new suburban estate. The bride saw the giant red machine in her driveway and completely lost her mind. She accused the guys of implying she was a sweaty landscaper and demanded they take it back to the hardware store. She wanted the cash to buy a crystal chandelier instead. 27. Weekend getaways are a fantastic way to unwind after a stressful wedding season. A family friend gifted a fully paid 2-night stay at a luxury mountain resort. The catch is that it was a 3-hour drive away. The bride absolutely refused to accept it. She called the friend to complain that the gift did not include gas money or a private chauffeur. She actually expected the guest to rent her a luxury SUV for the weekend, just so she would not have to put miles on her own car. 28. Heavy duty. French cookware is a staple on almost every modern registry. A sweet aunt bought the legendary cast iron pot, but picked the 5-quart size instead of the 7-quart monster. The bride dragged the heavy box back to the aunt's house and dumped it on the porch. She left a nasty voicemail saying she refused to cook tiny meals like a peasant and demanded the larger version. She even complained about pulling a muscle while returning the supposedly useless pot. 29. Owning a tiny piece of a Scottish castle sounds incredibly romantic and fun. A quirky cousin bought the couple a novelty certificate, making them an official lord and lady, complete with a square foot of land overseas. The bride entirely missed the joke. She hired a real estate lawyer to see if she could build a vacation home on the tiny plot. When she found out it was just a fun souvenir, she demanded the cousin pay her legal consultation fees for wasting her valuable time. 30. Travel gear is absolutely essential for a tropical honeymoon. A generous coworker bought a highly rated hardshell suitcase in a sleek charcoal gray. The bride took one look at it and burst into angry tears. She immediately texted the coworker, furious that it did not perfectly match her pastel pink carry-on bag. She claimed the mismatched luggage would ruin her airport outfit photos and demanded a full cash refund. Would you seriously care about luggage colors if the bag was free? 31. Shopping in bulk is incredibly practical, but this bride thought it was a personal attack. A well-meaning aunt bought a giant Kirkland signature wine and snack basket from Costco that cost roughly $80. The bride threw a massive fit because she expected Napa Valley vintage wines for her special day. She actually returned the entire basket to the warehouse herself, kept the cash refund, and then sent her aunt a link to a $500 wine club subscription. Have you ever been shamed for shopping at Costco? 32. Finding a hidden gem at a discount store feels amazing until you forget to peel off the clearance tag. A college friend proudly wrapped a beautiful glass vase she scored at a discount department store for exactly $22. As soon as the bride saw that shiny red sticker on the bottom, she completely lost her mind. She took a high-resolution picture of the price tag, posted it on her main Instagram feed for all her followers to see, and publicly asked why her closest friends thought her new marriage was only worth $20. 33. Kitchen aesthetics are apparently a matter of life and death for some newlyweds. The couple registered for a retro, $300 designer Smeg toaster. Instead, a very practical uncle bought a highly rated $40 model from Walmart. The bride was so disgusted by the cheap plastic that she literally left the unopened box on his front porch in the pouring rain. She taped a nasty handwritten note to it, claiming that bringing a discount appliance into her custom-built kitchen was a major insult to her interior designer. 34. Digital currency is extremely trendy, so a groomsman decided to gift the happy couple exactly 1 million coins of a random dog-themed meme crypto. It sounds incredibly impressive until you realize the total real-world value was roughly $12. The bride spent hours trying to cash it out, only to discover the transaction fees cost more than the actual gift. She sent him a highly aggressive voice memo calling him a fake billionaire and demanded a real paper check. 35. Bath products are a classic backup gift when you are totally broke and out of ideas. A younger cousin tossed 4 wrapped bath bombs into a nice gift bag and called it a day. Unfortunately, this bridezilla recognized the specific seasonal scents from a massive winter clearance sale at the mall. She texted her cousin a screenshot of the store's website, proving the bath bombs cost exactly $3.50 each. She then demanded a formal written apology for being handed what she called the ultimate bargain bin insult. 36. Group gifts are a very smart way to buy something expensive, but you have to do the math right. 4 coworkers combined their cash to give a single $100 Target gift card to their boss. The bride cracked open the envelope, divided the amount by 4, and realized each person only contributed $25. She marched right into the office on Monday morning and loudly announced that $25 barely covered the cost of their cocktail napkins, calling the entire department a bunch of cheapskates. 37. Some people prefer giving to charity instead of buying material things. One eco-friendly couple donated $50 to a farming charity that provided a flock of chickens to a family overseas in the bride's name. This woman absolutely exploded when she opened the certificate. She called the guests crying, screaming that random foreign poultry was not going to help her furnish her new living room. She actually demanded they cancel the charitable transaction and wire her the $50 so she could buy a proper throw pillow from West Elm instead. 38. Offering your time and labor can be incredibly generous if you do not have a lot of spare cash. A sister-in-law created a cute handmade booklet offering 5 weekends of free pet sitting for the couple's crazy golden retriever. Instead of saying thank you, the bride calculated the local hourly rate for a professional dog boarder. She sent her sister-in-law an angry text saying the homemade coupons felt like a cheap cop-out and demanded the equivalent $500 in cold hard cash. Is offering your time a valid wedding gift or just an excuse to be cheap? 39. Brand names can turn perfectly sane women into absolute monsters during wedding season. A young couple could not afford a $400 KitchenAid stand mixer, so they bought the $80 Hamilton Beach version instead. The bride actually dragged the heavy appliance back to the store, demanded a cash refund without a receipt, and was handed a measly store credit card. She furiously mailed the plastic card back to the couple, stating that if they could not afford the premium brand, they should have just declined the wedding invitation entirely. 40. Engraved silverware is a traditional keepsake, but real silver is insanely expensive. A well-meaning grandmother bought a beautiful serving set from a local thrift shop and polished it up nicely to save money. The bride took it to a jeweler to have it appraised, only to find out it was cheap stainless steel worth maybe $15. She drove straight to her grandmother's retirement community to confront her, yelling that gifting fake silver was a terrible omen that would mathematically guarantee her marriage would end in a cheap divorce. 41. Handing over a gift card is the easiest wedding present ever, provided you actually load fresh money onto it. One guest slipped a plastic card for a popular chain restaurant into an envelope, but the bride checked the balance online the next day. It only had $17.42 on it. She immediately realized it was a partially used card from the guest's own wallet. She actually mailed the plastic back cut into tiny pieces. Would you ever confront a friend over a used gift card? 42. Everyone loves a good scratch-off lottery ticket, but it is a massive financial gamble for a formal wedding present. A groomsman tucked $21 tickets into a generic greeting card, hoping for a big fun payout. Naturally, the newlyweds scratched every single one and won absolutely zero cash. The bride was incredibly furious about the $20 cheap out. She actually called the groomsman the next morning, demanding he personally reimburse them for the $10,000 grand prize she felt she was legally destined to win. 43. A sweet older neighbor gifted the happy couple a $50 gift card to a fancy local steakhouse. Obviously, that pays for a couple of appetizers and some drinks, which is a nice treat. This bride actually called the restaurant from the reception hall to check their exact menu prices. When she realized $50 would not cover a massive dry-aged ribeye and 2 bottles of wine, she texted the neighbor complaining that the gift was basically a trap to make her spend her own hard-earned money on dinner. 44. Nothing says I forgot to shop quite like a piece of paper claiming you own a random ball of gas in outer space. A romantic but broke college buddy paid $30 to name a star after the happy couple. The bride absolutely shredded the shiny certificate on a live social media video. She aggressively ranted that a fake space agency was not going to help pay off her massive catering bill. She explicitly told all her followers that imaginary real estate is the ultimate sign of a cheap, pathetic friendship. 45. Food storage containers are essential for any kitchen, but brand names can start a literal family war. A sweet older neighbor bought a massive 40-piece plastic Tupperware set from a late-night television infomercial. The bride had specifically registered for heavy-duty, incredibly expensive glass Pyrex bowls. She marched the cheap plastic containers right back across the street, dropped them on the neighbor's driveway, and yelled that her organic meal prep deserved better than toxic plastic that would melt in the microwave. Is it ever acceptable to return a gift directly to the person who gave it? 46. Free vacations almost always come with a terrible, hidden catch. An aunt proudly gifted the couple a free weekend trip to a gorgeous Florida beach resort. The bride was thrilled until she read the fine print and realized they had to sit through a grueling 4-hour timeshare presentation just to get the room key. She absolutely exploded on her aunt, claiming her time was worth at least $200 an hour. She demanded her aunt wire her $800 to compensate for the emotional torture of listening to a real estate pitch. 47. Counterfeit luxury items are everywhere online, and this bride had an absolute radar for fake goods. A bridesmaid bought what looked like premium designer bath towels from a sketchy discount website for a fraction of the normal cost. The bride washed them exactly once, and the famous embroidered logo completely unraveled in the dryer. She packed the damp, ruined towels into a trash bag, drove to the bridesmaid's apartment, and demanded she pay for a professional washing machine inspection, claiming the cheap threads probably destroyed her brand new spin cycle. 48. Imagine getting a crisp $100 bill and a lovely card from your college roommate. Most of us would be thrilled, but one bride actually sent her friend an itemized spreadsheet the next morning. She pointed out that her specific dinner plate, plus the open bar access, cost exactly $160. The bride then included a Venmo request for the remaining $60, claiming her friend was basically stealing from her. Have you ever had a friend send you an invoice for eating their food? 49. Wrapping paper gets torn up and thrown away in seconds, so most normal people do not care how a gift is presented. One wedding guest repurposed a very nice, sturdy gift bag that had a tiny wrinkle on the handle. The bride opened her high thread count sheets, noticed the slightly used bag, and sent a nasty email. She accused the guest of treating her elegant wedding like a cheap neighborhood garage sale. Seriously, who inspects a paper bag for wrinkles just to find a reason to be mad at a friend? 50. Back in the day, stocking a newlywed pantry was a highly respected and practical tradition. A well-meaning great aunt decided to fill a massive laundry basket with basic groceries, but she bought exclusively generic, store-brand items to save money. The bride took one look at the discount cereal and cheap canned soup, then literally burst into angry, dramatic tears. She cried that her new husband would think she was a terrible provider if she served him budget-brand baked beans. Do you think a basket of cheap food is a thoughtful gift or just a major cheap out? 51. A perfectly nice silver picture frame from Target seems like a classic safe registry item. Well, the bride ripped open the wrapping paper and immediately demanded to know why it did not come in a robin egg blue box. When the cousin admitted it was not from Tiffany & Company, the bride threw a massive fit on Facebook. She publicly tagged the poor cousin, asking if her marriage looked like a discount bin romance to them. She even calculated the price difference and asked her entire family to make up the gap. 52. Sometimes people try to be clever with their registry purchases, and it backfires spectacularly. A tech-savvy cousin decided to buy the happy couple a fractional share of a popular technology stock, worth exactly $50 at the time. The bride was furious that she could not physically hold the gift or immediately spend it on her honeymoon. When the stock market dipped a week later and the value dropped to $40, she called her cousin screaming that he had basically robbed her of $10 and demanded he make up the difference in cash. 53. A customized piece of artwork sounds like a thoughtful, unique present, right? A talented graphic designer friend spent hours creating a stunning digital illustration of the couple's first date spot. But she printed it on a standard piece of glossy photo paper to save money on a canvas. The bride was so insulted by the flimsy paper that she literally crumpled it up and threw it in the trash during the gift opening party. She then texted the designer, demanding she pay for a professional oil painting, claiming the digital art was cheap and heartless. 54. Nobody wants to receive a re-gifted item, especially if the evidence is literally taped to the box. A distant relative dug an unopened blender out of her garage and gave it to the newlyweds. The problem was that the box had a faded "Happy Retirement" sticker stuck to the bottom. The bride scanned the barcode, discovered the blender was a discontinued model from 5 years ago, and publicly shamed the relative on Facebook. She demanded a brand new top-of-the-line food processor as an apology for the supposedly deep insult. 55. Gifting a service instead of an item is becoming more popular, but you have to know your audience. A professional organizer friend offered a free 4-hour session to help the couple unpack and set up their new kitchen. The bride was absolutely livid, taking it as a direct insult to her tidiness. She actually sent the friend an invoice for $200, claiming that since she did not need the organizing help, the friend owed her the monetary value of the service instead. Would you ever charge a friend for a free favor? These brides took entitlement to an entirely new, deeply uncomfortable level. It is honestly shocking how quickly a sweet gesture can turn into a full-blown demand for cash or luxury items. What is the most ridiculous, unhinged reaction you have ever seen someone have to a completely normal gift? Drop your wildest stories in the comments below. Hit that like button if these bridezillas made you cringe, and make sure to subscribe for more unbelievable stories.